Welcome to Transit Talk, Human Design Transits, real talk in real time. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Jess. We meet up about every 6 days to explore the current human design transits and how they're actually showing up in our lives. And we'd love for you to join us.
We're talking energy in the moment, what we're feeling, what we're noticing, and what the transits are stirring up inside us and all around us.
So, whether you're joining us live or listening later, we're glad you're here.
Let's get into it. So, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm practically perfect in every way, but apparently not perfect at trying to figure out how to pin this dinky little bow onto this shirt without choking myself. And Mary Poppins didn't have that little thing hanging down, but it's a different umbrella. Anyway, today we are exploring the energy of transit Sun in gate 18, correction, right? With the
Mhm.
with the highest expression of perfection. And who better than Mary Poppins, right?
Yes. I
Right.
love it. I
Okay.
love it. I love how perfect it is, too. I have to say, you really nailed it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we're live here in the group, and I will check that in a minute. But explain your gate 17-ish to Ness today, just
My
Tilly.
gate 17ness. So I was thinking opinions and I was, in the lower frequency, this is opinionated. And I was, who is the most opinionated? And I was, that has to be probably a 4 or 5 year old, right? They have their opinions. They're so opinionated. They're, I know how to do this. I have the right way. This is how we're going to move forward. So I'm channeling my inner 4 or 5 year old today, which I
That's
realize doesn't look so different from what I normally wear with bows, but
I've never seen the pigtail bows for you before, so that is a new
mm,
thing. So
yeah.
I had a little bit of a hard time trying to not choke myself and pin this little red bow here to be Mary Poppins. So I apologize for being a little bit late, but I am practically perfect. And for those of you who remember the scene, I figured we could see how we all measure up today with my
Oh.
remember she does her little thing where she measures the kids and tells the little boy that he's a little stubborn and all that stuff, but she does it in a nice, loving way. And I think that's such the energy of this gate. We
Mm.
um, we can express our judgments from this, our criticisms, in ways that can be loving and respected. And I think that's a really important thing right now because I feel like the most opinionated thing right now is anybody speaking on Facebook, especially about politics, right? So those opinions, just like a lot of people are channeling their inner 4 and 5 year olds about really serious matters, but it's being stated in these very not so great ways in a lot of cases. But
Mhm.
anyway, I'm going to put my umbrella down now before I fly away,
Love it. I have
right?
to say
My
it.
hat is not quite working, but you know, you improvise.
I love it. I love it.
So,
Look
ta-da.
what we're looking at. Our spoonful of sugar for the day.
Right?
Oh, I love it.
That's awesome.
It just makes me think too, because with your 18 on the other side, for the whole channel of judgment, you've got the 58, which is the joyous, which really feels like her energy.
Yeah, and it's interesting when I reflect um on I don't have 58
Mhm.
defined, but my husband has this whole channel. And it's
Mm.
really apparent to me when I start amplifying it in the shadow versus in the gifts. So, and it was interesting to listen to Richard Rudd's contemplation on this energy this morning. I did it right before we got on while I was fighting with my safety pin and not trying not to stab my jugular. The way he talks about this energy is so beautiful, and he says how profound it's been on him and how he does not have this in his chart either.
Mhm.
So I just think it's really good, beautiful energy for all of us to really feel into and notice when we are feeling the shadow of this energy, which is just as easy to have happen. But like I always say, when you feel the shadow, turn around because you know where the sun is. It's behind, right?
I love it. And just a quick reminder, we all have all parts of the chart, right?
Right.
It's just that consistent access to that if it is defined. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a habit of, I think we both have a habit, or all people have a habit of saying we don't have something. And what we mean is we don't have it defined. We don't have consistent access to it. So we have to be a little more conscious of the access to that energy so that we can make sure we're accessing it in the way that is in our highest good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So yeah, if you want to go back to your pretty little.
Yeah.
And
let's see. So we've got gate 18 in the sun. So this is work on what has been spoiled. It's the gate of correction. I'm correcting my mic right now because I just realized it was on the other side of the desk. In quantum human design, it's realignment. And so, really interesting just to note that right now, so gate 18 is over here in the spleen, the splenic center, that we're about to go to the part of the mandala. So we're moving through the whole mandala. We're gate 18. We're about to go through and travel through all the gates of the spleen. And so, with the gates of the spleen, we have those different fears that are coming up. So, starting to notice right now, especially with the 18, looking at the fear of the 18 is that fear of judgment, it's that fear of authority. And noticing potentially even like taking the time to journal, like, how is this fear showing up for me? And then next, we're going to move into the 48. And then that's that fear of inadequacy. So, it's going to be really interesting to kind of move through all these different fears and see what's coming up. And it really helps to have that awareness of like, interesting, this is what's going on in the transits right now as we're noticing those fears coming up. So again, yeah, gate 18, we've got the hexagram. And so you were speaking to before for the gene keys, this is the movement from judgment to integrity to perfection. And with this energy for myself, I know with the 18, I was always like, oh my goodness, it's always this. You can always see how you can make something better, right? And it's just because you can see it doesn't mean that it has to happen. Not to become obsessed with just because you see, like, here's this thing and it could be slightly improved in this way. It doesn't mean that's the correct place to put your energy into. But then there's also this other end where there is that chance where you can make those changes to find that perfection, that it is possible. And this is in the quarter of duality, which is the purpose fulfilled through bonding. So Earth, we have gate 17. This is following the gate of opinions in quantum human design. It's the gate of anticipation. For gene keys, it is the progression of opinion. And this is, again, that that 4 or 5-year-old opinionated space in that shadow frequency. And then this moves to farsightedness. And this really speaks to in the 17, this is the gate of patterns. It's that future. If you think about the Legos, it's building something. It's starting to notice the pattern of how you can piece things together to prepare for the future, right? To create this opinion. And so that's where that farsightedness comes into. It's not just right here and now, it's those patterns. And then that moves into that city of omniscience, right? That all knowing. And this is the quarter of initiation, which is the purpose fulfilled through mind.
Yeah. So I love all of that. This is really interesting energy too, because we talk about the fear gates in the spleen, but there's also fear, all the gates of the ajna are also fear gates. So for example, right now, gate 17, we have the fear of mental anxiety over challenge, right? So when you look at this energy of this recognizing what needs to be corrected, there's also this anxiety that comes in about, how am I going to step up to this challenge? Am I going to be able to do whatever is needed in this situation? Am I going to measure up, right, to this challenge? So,
yeah.
And it's hard. And one of the things I loved about Mary Poppins is even though she was tough, she like held those kids to a high standard. She always made them feel capable of those standards. And I think that's a really important thing to look at when we are dealing with this energy now, is when we criticize and use it in a way that shuts people down, makes people feel wrong, makes them feel othered, separates us further from them. That doesn't help. When we criticize and yet recognize the potential in people to own up, even if they haven't in the past, right? Where we can see this energy of, I know you mean well, and I know you can do this. I know you have tried and failed, but I believe in you. That sort of energy in the criticism. And even that's sometimes too harsh. Sometimes it's just the saying, hey, here's another way that I know you would want me to tell you because you care so much about this, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. And, speaking to anxiety, that brings up for me with my daughter, with Lily, that there's this beautiful method we've been following with her, that she does have these feelings that come up and there's this nervousness about trying new things. And it's honoring, right? Really honoring that anxiety and where you are and what you're feeling, right? Honoring and going like, I see you're feeling this thing. I see this is what you're experiencing, and I know you can move through this, and I know we can do this, right? And the supportive statement. So acknowledging and recognizing where you are, and then coupling that together with that supportive statement. So yeah.
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 And it's always important to, we know that this energy is going to come up in our relationships, in ourselves, but
Mhm.
this energy is logical collective energy. So really the big place that we're going to feel this is in the world around us. We're going to
Mhm.
see, and sometimes we can project that onto the people around us instead of the systems around us, because this is really about recognizing patterns and systems. This is
Mhm.
really that energy of, oh, we're gonna we got to change some shit up, right? Sorry, Mary Poppins probably wouldn't say it that way, but I'm practically perfect in every way.
Change some
And
sugar up.
put a, put a little spoonful of sugar to help that medicine go down. You know, then there was, I'm sorry, I just had a squirrel in my brain. I just saw something recently on something about chakras where it referred to the chakras, however, um, with
Chakras.
chakras. There was a whole discussion at
Yeah.
HGHD
Yeah.
during the tarot conversation
Ooh.
about chakra
Yeah.
and all those words like tomato, tomato. Anyway, my brain totally squirreled there. But there was a thing about the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la being
Mhm.
associated with chakras, and I have never heard that before. So that might be a
Mhm.
mental note to come back to at some point because I thought that was really interesting, but nothing to do with the transits.
Mhm.
But I wanted to say something. Then my brain scrolled in 62 different directions. Oh, I know, 62. Thank you very much. I
Yes.
wanted to say that we have Jupiter in gate 62. So then when gate 62 connects with gate 17, we're getting that feeling of definition
Mhm.
to like my undefined ajna, right?
Mhm.
And we have the 47 right now, which it means I didn't even realize that. Where is the, oh, that's it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I knew that. I just forgot about that. So right now for me, I've got this 64-47 that's been going on for a while with my hanging gate 64. So I've been feeling that head and ajna definition, but now it's getting to my throat,
Mm.
right? So throat, connecting energy to the throat, though, does not mean that we're invited to talk about it. We might feel like it's getting to the
Yes.
throat, right?
Yes. 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 Oh, say it again, Kathy. Say it
So
again.
there has been this pressure that I've been having with this feeling of a defined head and ajna for months
Yes.
now, right? It's been a couple
Yes.
months, I think, since the nodes moved. And now we're having one of these transits where it's getting to the throat for the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not here to talk about those things unless in this situation I feel there's an open invitation to talk about all the things, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm just in conversation and I decide I'm going to randomly start telling my neighbor Susie Q about how we should not be trying to correct everybody and da 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 da. That is not invited energy and it's going to feel icky and it's going to land on deaf ears.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
this,
for anybody who's like, why is it invited energy? So this channel right here, the 1762, which is kind of beautiful, it's the channel of acceptance. So this is a projected channel. And so with that energy, there is that recognition and that invitation that Kathy's speaking to.
And I know you have that split as well. So even though you have the defined head and ajna
Mhm,
all the time
mhm,
in your actual chart,
mhm,
this feeling could do the same thing for you, right?
mhm. Yeah.
So do you have any
Yeah.
tips on how you deal with that?
I run away to the beach a lot.
Right?
It's really centering. It's
Yeah.
really feeling in your body because so many times I'm like, "Ooh, I can say this thing. Ooh, I feel this thing." And it's like, mm. Because a lot of times I get ideas and ideas are beautiful. And I've learned with my ideas, I write them down and then I see what I respond to. Because just because I have an idea doesn't mean it's the right idea or it's a good idea or it's the thing for me right now. And it's the same thing I've noticed, this almost like, oh, I want to say something, but there's this pause. So I would encourage people to take that pause and feel, is this just something I'm saying to say, or is this the correct thing to be saying and the correct way I want to say this thing? And sometimes it's really powerful to not say anything. Like, am I jumping into this pool? Am I jumping into this thing right now? Or am I going to sit and let it be? At what point do you jump in?
Yeah. It's interesting. I noticed on your little transit chart, I had not put together that, I don't know, maybe we've moved past it, but I'm guessing right now we're probably in about 14.6 because my guess is you did this a little bit before we got on the
I did
moon.
this 5 minutes before we got
Okay,
on.
so we are
So
moving into my sun gate as far as the moon. So that just feels really good. It's like driving me to be more me, right?
14.4. Right now, at this very moment, we're in 14.4. Yep.
Oh, so it's going backwards.
So you know what? When I did the screenshot, we hadn't.
Never mind. So we're moving. Okay, I'm like, that's weird. I didn't think the moon ever retrograded. I was really
Yeah.
confused for a minute, but I get it. You did it. You
Yeah.
pushed it forward a little bit when you did
Yeah.
it. Anyway, so let's see. Is there anything specific that I mean you went through the here, get my little book here. You went through the shadows of each of them. But I think it's
Mhm.
before we jump into the cosmic weather, which I'm going to do in a second here, I think it's important to always think about how these gates work together. And these gates
Mhm.
really work beautifully together. When you think about the gift of integrity with the gift of farsightedness, right?
Mhm.
Am I remembering them right without looking at them?
Mhm.
I mean, think about how that plays out in the collective. If we could all remember to have the gift, to lean into that integrity and farsightedness. And, like right now, there's a lot of stuff going on that in the moment feels awful. But then when we look at what comes from the awful, sometimes what comes from it is really beautiful and it's messy in the process. Doesn't mean we will ever like what happened to get there, but remembering that oftentimes for the really big changes that we want to see in the world to take place, to happen, we have to have some really big ickies, right?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because I haven't told you yet. I don't even know how this happened. My doorknob fell off.
Your
So
front door or what door?
my front door,
So
because
you
it's
can't
like a
get out?
little latch. It's like, so I'm like, okay, okay, I see you.
Uh, those are the moments I'm so glad I have a Wally. My husband is so good at fixing all that kind of stuff. And there are so
Yeah.
many times where I'm like, I talk to neighbors and they're like, what did you do when this happened? I'm like, Wally fixed it. And they're like, how did he oh, he knew how to do that? I said, no, he just YouTubed it. And I was like,
Yeah.
he's a first line. So it's really not a hard thing to fix a doorknob when it comes off. So I might even be able to talk you through it. But
What was funny though, to get back in, I had to get the screwdriver. And
oh, it
it
happened when you're outside.
was,
Oh, I thought you just couldn't leave the house.
no, no, it was, but it was such a beautiful message and like okay. So you're talking about things happening, and it's really that moment where you're like, what just happened? Why is this happening? In no way is the doorknob falling off a good thing. But what am I learning? What awareness am I getting from this? What pause did that give me? And to go,
Or you never know. You might like go look for a new doorknob somewhere, run into an old friend. You might meet a new friend. You never know the way the universe is going to take you in
mhm.
crazy ways, right?
Yeah. So it's exactly.
Yeah. So, are we Ready for some cosmic weather? Or did we want to talk more about these energies?
Yep.
All right, now it's time for our weekly cosmic weather forecast, where we bring you the daily line-by-line flavor of the current transit. Think of this as your energetic weather report, complete with a high chance of feels and a low pressure system of wisdom, just waiting to land, like with Mary Poppins landing, right? Each day, we're tuning into the specific energy of the lines as the sun and earth highlight them. Oh, I had a feeling I did this, dang it. Talk amongst yourself for 1 minute because when I added the new one, I didn't save it. So this is all last week's. So I'm letting someone else in to the room and I have to find the correct one. Hold, please.
Please pause.
Talk.
This is your moment to get your spoonful of sugar.
Right?
I love it. I love how you said talk amongst yourselves like there's multiple of me.
Right? Well,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read it from this really little thing. So here we go. So this is way too big. Okay, ready? So we have to edit all this out. So I need a good stopping point. Friday, September 26th. On Friday, we've got line one energy with the sun in conservatism and the earth, I said that weird, conservatism, and the earth in openness, a day for examining history while staying open-minded. The shadow weather, people doubling down on the way it's always been done, waving the history flag, get it, history, while pretending their version is the only truth. Gift forecast, clear skies when we honor traditions, but stay open to multiple perspectives. Seeing dualities without making one side right or wrong. Line conditions, the air feels heavy with old structures, but also softened by curiosity. Special weather alert, awakening energy stirs as the moon in gate 34 connects with Uranus in gate 20, forming the channel of charisma, individual power bursts onto the scene. It's like we got plugged into a cosmic electrical outlet. Okay, on Saturday, we've got line two energy with the sun in terminal disease and earth in discrimination. Fun, right? A day to face what's beyond repair and choose your company wisely. Shadow weather, collective grumbling about nothing can ever be fixed, paired with clicky vibes of my group is better than yours. I think I'm staying off social media tomorrow. Um, Gift forecast, brighter skies when we honor endings, respect the feminine, and lean into connections that raise our vibration. Line conditions, clear but fragile. Clear but fragile, like walking through a field where some plants will flourish and others must be let go. Special weather alert. Early morning Mercury in gate 57 joins the moon in gate 34, briefly creating the 5734 and the 5720 activations, which that one will continue. Intuitive downloads may come fast and loud. Okay, Sunday, we've got line three energy with the sun in the zealot and the earth in understanding. A day for breaking with the past and choosing the road that fosters true growth. Shadow weather, impatience everywhere, people bulldozing into the future just to get out of discomfort while dismissing wisdom as boring. Gift forecast, sunshine when we release what no longer serves, trusting the best road may not be the most exciting, but will bring maturity. Line conditions, breezy but unstable, like a sudden weather shift that clears old debris. Okay, from the deeply personal to the dynamically public, Jess, give us the scoop on the upper trigram and how this energy is playing across the bigger stage.
That bigger stage. On Monday, we've got line four energy with the sun in the incompetent and the earth in the personal manager. A day for noticing what can't be fixed alone, and for choosing principles that serve the whole. Shadow weather. Folks trying to slap band-aids on big problems while hiding ulterior motives behind their opinions. The gift forecast. Relief comes when we allow meditation and presence to guide us, finding solutions rooted in service and honesty. Line conditions, cloudy but clearing like fog, lifting when we pause long enough to see what's underneath. Special weather alert. Morning into midday, the moon in gate 10 links with gate 57 for the channel of perfected form, with gate 20 for the channel of awakening. By evening, it shifts into gate 58, connecting with the sun in gate 18 for the channel of judgment. A triple front moves through clarity, awakening, and correction all in one day. On Tuesday, we've got line 5 energy with the sun in therapy and the earth in no human is an island. A day for recognizing what's beyond our control and leaning into interconnectedness. The shadow weather. Lone wolf dramatics, people insisting they can fix it all by themselves or pretending hierarchies don't exist while climbing them. The gift forecast. Brighter weather when we practice self honesty, allow help, and embrace the truth that we're all part of one whole. Line conditions. A sense of relief moving through, like clouds parting when we remember we're not alone. On Wednesday, we've got line 6 energy with the sun in Buddhahood and the earth in the Bodhisattva for universe.
Bodhisattva.
Yep, that one. A day for universal concerns and attuning to higher consciousness. Shadow weather. Preaching without embodiment. Folks wearing a spiritual mask while still tangled in conditioning. The gift forecast. Wide open skies when wisdom flows naturally and leadership honors others by aligning them to their own truth. Line conditions. Calm, still, expansive, like the air right after a cleansing storm. On Thursday, the transit completes and we prepare for the shift into new gate energy. The shadow weather. Lingering opinions or judgments from the week may echo. The gift forecast. Use the pause to integrate insights and anchor into clarity before the next front rolls in. Transitional, like standing at the edge of one season and the start of another. That's your cosmic weather forecast, folks. There may be chaos in the weather, but you'll find clarity in your chart.
Thanks, Jess. Radical self-trust is still your best umbrella. Oh, I put mine down. Follow your strategy and authority and shine your light, my friends. Now, look, I don't have with my background, I have my umbrella didn't show. Oh,
It looks like you've got like a little thing hanging off your hat.
Right? It's so weird. Yay.
There it is.
Okay, so if there's anybody here that wants to come on and chat about this weather, we've already got a few people in the weights here, so feel free to come on camera if you would like. I notice Rebecca says, FYI, astrologically, the sun is forming a kite pattern, very beneficial, and the sun anchoring in the tail position. Ooh, I don't know, Rebecca, if you want to come on camera and talk about that, I'd love to hear more about that. And in the group, Facebook group, I love that Rebecca added, it's all perfect, LOL. And there was another comment here. Oh, Valerie says, hi, missed y'all, but Valerie's not here. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Karen. Hi, Marion. Now I got to close my umbrella. Oh, there. Geez, did I break it? It's practically perfect. My poor hat. This hat is actually a tall hat. I smashed it down. I've got like an earring in it. And okay, whatever. Enough about me. That's practically perfect. How is everybody?
Judging your hat. I see you.
The judgment, right? The judgment. Oh, when I take it off and you see my hair, then you'll really see me being critical. Okay. Anyway, so
yeah, Rebecca, if you want to talk about the kite pattern, that sounds amazing. Tell us more.
Explain it to us like we're 8, like we're the little kids that Mary Poppins. Yes, she's 4, and yes. Explain it to my children. The Mary Poppins.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm a 2-4, and I am so not comfortable in front of your camera.
I love that we're enough of your 4th line group that you feel willing to come out of and express your natural gifts, because you have, well, I know those aren't just natural, you are well trained as well, but yeah.
When I was looking at the astrology of this and saw that there's a kite, it does, the aspects don't show up in human design.
Right.
And so you really don't know what other energetic qualities are being added to each one of these gates. And
so explain what a kite is for most
may I screen share?
Yes, I believe you'll be able to. Yes.
That
Oh,
is
it is a kite. Look at that.
so
Let's go fly a kite.
yeah, so little Miss Mary Poppins, beside an umbrella, you've got a kite. And you can see the position of the sun here being at the very tail, which makes it in control of this kite. And also involved are Pluto and Uranus, which makes a grand trine. Each one is 120 degrees apart. But it also brings in the energies of Saturn and Neptune into the whole play. So blending all these energies that get expressed through the human design gates is how you would want to interpret it.
Yeah, and that's so beautiful when you bring in, the Saturn and Neptune energy in gate 25 and you bring that beautiful innocence into what we were just talking about with integrity and farsightedness, right?
When I looked up the gates of these, and I actually have chills right now just talking about this, because it is, with all the chaos in the world, we are at a turning point, and we do have the energies available to us to bring in all this positive vibe, is what I get from it.
And Saturn, and yeah, Saturn's in 36 right now. It's in crisis.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Saturn, I thought Saturn was still in 25. It just moved,
No.
huh?
Neptune's 25.
Yeah, it must have just moved.
And when Saturn gets in crisis, well, Saturn ain't no fun to play with anyway.
But we always appreciate Saturn in hindsight, right?
He straightens us out. He's kind of like the high school teacher we hated the most that we got the most from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
yeah.
That's always how I think of it as well. Yeah. So
So
this is beautiful. I really appreciate you bringing that in. So, while you have this up here, oops.
well, I just I can bring it back.
I'm just curious here on a completely probably unrelated level, but what was the little symbol I saw next to Chiron?
Let me share again.
I didn't recognize that one.
Okay. So this is Eris.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Eris is the female version of Mars. She can be a troublemaker. In mythology, she was the one that did not get invited to the wedding and threw
Yeah.
the golden apple in amongst all the bridesmaids, caused them to fight, and in result caused the Trojan War. That's the
Yeah.
mythology of it. And she's
Yeah.
conjunct Chiron right now in Aries, which is a big deal. The wounds of the world are what's up right now, and we're fighting for our existence. And because of all the other positive aspects here, my feeling is that even though it seems pretty drastic, I think it's going to take drastic to make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, enough to say enough is enough. And if no matter what your opinions are on, I always hesitate to say anything that can feel divisive, but there's also that hesitancy of not speaking our truth too. So, but I do believe, regardless of what you feel in what's going on in the collective, when you look at the power of what happened, for example, when they took Jimmy Kimmel off the air and how the people basically put him back, right? Showing how the collective stood up for something and said, we're not okay with this. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. And so many people canceled their Disney Plus and their Hulu and all those things. And some people will say that's not why he got put back on there. I don't want to argue about that. I just feel like it was a really good sign that when we put our money where our mouth is, we can make a really big difference, maybe even more so than look at these wars that go on forever and so many people are killed. and nothing changes. But start with holding the funds for things that when you feel strongly about something, and people will quickly decide whether or not what's more important to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
What I brought up here is Mars right now is squared to Pluto. So even though there are power struggles, we can win this fight that we're in. Anyway, I don't mean to get into astrology because this is
right.
about human design.
No,
So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and let you guys
okay. Yeah.
continue
No,
here.
I find it all fascinating. Human design is so related to astrology. And I went to this wonderful event, and I know Karen and Marion I'm not sure if you were at that part too when were you at the Chiron event? I don't remember seeing you there. Or no, Karen, I'm not sure. I can't even remember who was there because I was so engrossed in, I was ugly crying the whole time. So I don't know who was Eric, unless you were sitting next to me. But we did this wonderful event where Brandy Jordan and Richard, oh God, why am I,
Corbett?
what?
Corbett.
Yeah,
Corbett?
thank you. I wanted to call him Richard Jordan, right? Richard Corbett did this wonderful event where they really do marry human design and astrology so beautifully. And they use the expression that human design is the mechanics and astrology is the mythology of it. So we really understand the story really well through looking at the astrology. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say right now, Mars is in gate 28. So there is that struggle vibe going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been reading all these, I love all the little short little astrology things on Instagram. And my sister just sent me one last night because she's a Taurus and I'm a Scorpio. And it was basically warning both of us and several other signs about our potential to be rage filled during this Mars transit right now. So, and I was like, oh, and it's funny because I have not felt rage at all. And I think that it's really interesting as you can start to watch these transits and see the energy. And then when you notice something in you, you can get out of the story that you have in your head about it and see it as energy. How is this working for me? Oh, why am I feeling this anger coming up right now? What is this drawing my attention to, right? Instead of being just reactive.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a triggering time, but realizing these triggers are coming up for us so that we can move through them potentially in a different way, in a more empowered way, and seeing the beauty in that. And Rebecca, just want to say thank you again. Like, thank you for your insight and thank you for sharing. And it is so valuable for us because sometimes if you just look through the human design lens, you're missing that whole part that we are experiencing a kite. And just to reinforce exactly what Kathy said, I was just in Oslo and Darshana Matthews there, a very prominent IHDS teacher, she was talking about the life cycles and she went into Chiron as well and how the two work so beautifully together. So really, again, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you and for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. And I want to publicly thank Marion for picking me up at the airport and countless other people in Santa Fe. She was wonderfully. Oh, Rebecca, I know she's not comfortable being on, so it means so much when you're here, Rebecca. So Marion, though, I wanted to publicly thank you and recognize all that you did and how joyful you did it all in Santa Fe, schlepping us all around through storms and lightning and all of that. And how's this weather feeling now that you are home, this cosmic weather?
I am really missing Santa Fe. Yeah. I'm not thrilled to be back in LA, but
Yeah, it's always like a bit of a transition, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah. When did you get home?
Um, I got home Wednesday.
Yeah, you had
So
to drive.
I did. I visited in Phoenix for a bit for my family. So
Yeah. So can you notice the
yeah.
shift in the energy this morning?
I did. Yeah, I do notice a shift. I do notice me being I don't know, very critical about how my life is set up here and
Mm.
eager to make some changes. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely feeling that. It's kind of a drag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know,
Welcome. Welcome to 18.
right?
I just want to add a nuance with that, with the 18 energy. A lot of times it's really easy to take that inwards and be self-critical, but the 18 is really not to be self-critical. It's more that energy of looking like externally, not turning it into yourself and judging yourself and being critical of yourself. Yeah.
That's
So
a good
just,
reminder.
yeah.
Thank you.
So it's funny, I have the full channel, the 1858,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. It's something I've always struggled with, and is learning like judgment can be discernment. It doesn't have to be judgment.
Yeah.
And changing that language around it, be discerning, about things versus judging has been a big shift in my way of looking at that and dealing with that channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's to bring the joy, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is here that I can see this so that I can have the joy and bring it together to get to that perfected place. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jess
Mary,
has
and I
the
feel
whole
this.
channel too. Jess
Yeah.
has that whole channel.
Oh, you do? So yeah. Mary,
Yeah.
in the same way, because I came home, I live in Florida, and Santa Fe was just such a gift. Like I vacillated back and forth whether to go. And funny enough, our car was broken into, our keys were stolen, our rental car keys. So we got stuck in Santa Fe 2 extra days, and I was like, it's the gift.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I was like,
You
thank
were really chill about it. I was like, because it wasn't just her car, it was a rental car
a
that
rental
they
car.
rented in Colorado. And they had flights going home
Yeah,
from Colorado. So like there's
Yeah.
another layer or two in there that you didn't
there
add.
was a
Like,
lot.
you
And
were
then
so calm.
it had installed the guy we used Turo, and the gentleman we rented from didn't even know, he couldn't find the spare key. So it was like Saturday. We didn't get our key until Tuesday. So it's like, so I didn't get home till Wednesday either, because I reported on Saturday. We get the key till Tuesday morning, but it was so great because on Monday we got to go on a hike. I got to hear what's his face from the
Yeah.
Human Design School,
Genoa?
Genoa. Thank you.
Yeah, which I never even got to see him, but
Oh, I heard it
I
was
was
so
already
good.
gone.
It was so good. And that was totally, I wouldn't have stayed for that just because it was timing to get back home. So the universe, I was exactly where I was meant to be. So
And what that's such a beautiful example too, Karen, because you could have easily ruined at least, the first night or day of that whole
Yeah.
experience with your fear about what was going to happen, the mental
Yeah.
anxiety about not being able to see where it was going to go. But you were so like, this is what it is. It's not that you were not doing the things you need to do, but
Yeah.
you were really present, enjoying where you were. And at least on the surface, it seemed like you really made the best of the situation. And it was such a good reminder of how differently it could have been, if you think about it. And I don't know if you've always been this way, but I know human design has really helped me with this sort of thing, to just be able to be like, somehow this crazy, complicated, horrible thing is happening for me. And I'm going to not let it ruin all these things that are probably the gifts I'm supposed to get from it, right?
Yeah, I've been delving into ACIM as well, so that's really helped. So I kept thinking like because they stole our jackets, they stole my water bottle,
Can you explain what that is?
A Course in Miracles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, A Course in Miracles. And A Course in Miracles is really about looking at the positive things, and you can kind of shift your energy from the ego mind into a positive. And so it's like, everything they took out of the car, with the exception of the car keys, were things that it was definitely a homeless person, because it was jackets, it was a water bottle, things like that. And so I thought they're gonna be warm on the streets. They needed it more than we did. And I get to stay an extra 2 days in one of my favorite cities with people that I just absolutely adore getting to know. So it was it was a good lesson for me. And
Not to
not
leave
to
the
be
keys in the car.
judgmental.
Yes, that's surrender. It's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had something slightly similar with did I tell you about my passport, Kathy? I don't know if
I don't think
I've
so.
missed you. So it was the night before I was going to
you did.
fly to
I think-
Oslo, to Norway, and my passport was on my desk, right? I go to put it and I'm like, where's my passport? And now suddenly I'm looking everywhere, and I've got a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. And I'm like, is it in their room? Like, I put them to bed. I get the flashlight. I'm looking in their rooms, in their drawers. I'm going through everything. My office was like a wreck. Everything was everywhere. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to go to Oslo. I had this weird energy because I love HDHD. I was there last year. I love everyone there so dearly. And it was such a push pull for me was, am I supposed to go there instead? And I was, maybe this is it. I surrender. Or maybe I'm not going to Oslo. So I keep looking through, and then I'm looking in the closet and I find one of my dear friends, Brigitte. I bought her something for her knee. It's like one of those beanie bags that you heat up in the microwave to help her for winter months. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would have completely forgotten this and not packed it. So I put that in the bag. And then I'm going through the paperwork slowly. Where is this passport? I find a paper from school. Apparently, the kids didn't have school on that Tuesday for some holiday that I had no idea. And I was like, okay, I see where this is going. And I'm like, thank you so much. And it was not a great experience. I was up until about 2 a.m. to find my passport. But the things that happened because I was looking for the passport, I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. And there was just this deep surrender into it. And there was this underlying, I could feel the tug of a panic, like, oh no. And it's like, okay, you can feel it, but then just to breathe through it and surrender and go, if I'm not supposed to be there, I'm not supposed to be there. Right. And really trusting. So yeah.
So you were supposed to be there. You just were supposed to make sure your kids didn't go to school on a day they weren't supposed to be there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I was supposed to
Right?
be there.
Yeah, your mom would have been like, what the heck?
Right. And because it's 6 hours different, she would have been like calling me when it's so
Right. Yeah,
it would have
exactly.
been such
Yeah.
a thing.
So, so this is just a lot of energy of seeing how we can correct things. And I think this is nice when we look at it and we can say, how can we correct the way we look at things too, right? You know, because you were saying, there's a fear in gate 18 that, what did you say it was, of authority, but it's really, oh, hey,
And
Carla, I
judgment.
saw you
And
in the background. I
judgmental.
was wondering if you were going to come on camera. But one of the things that's interesting, because we didn't touch on this part, when I was listening to what Ross says about Gate 18, that he says the original I Ching name is work on what's been spoiled by the father. And he interpreted that as like spoiled by the parents. But I've also seen a lot of references to history, like what's in history. And so a lot of this is about the patriarchal energy of the collective. What has been spoiled by that? And so how can we be more receptive, not so yang all the time? And yet this is still logical energy. So in our logicalness, does that really work? I think so. In our logicalness, can we be receptive to the things that we don't even know are going to bring us joy? Can we have a more like calm, receptive way of receiving joy? So, Carla, I feel like you're going to come in and truth bomb us with something. No pressure. Where are you? It's so pretty.
The local park. I took like
awesome.
a 2-hour walk with my dog this morning along the creek, and it just,
Nice.
was feeling that drive to ground myself in nature. So, I have both of these gates. I have the channel of acceptance, and I have an undefined spleen with 18 in 4 and 6. And before human design, I definitely turned that judgment inward, right? Like it was very much a inner critic. It was the loudest voice because it's my Saturn placement on the personality side in 18.4. So, what's wrong with me that I can't change this thing? Da 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 da. And then 6 in Jupiter. And so okay, well then I just, the answer is being better. It's just being as good as I can be, as best as I can be. And I think about my own personal history, because again, history. And it's interesting when I consider every moment where I really questioned authority, where it was someone outside of myself. I mean, I was the poster child for like following the rules constantly. And I would enforce the rules on other people, like, hey, you're doing this the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. You're da 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 da. I wrote an article for the high school newspaper on if it was an opinion piece, right? And I was editor in chief, so I had the opportunity to write about whatever I wanted to every week. And it was, you know, if the students would just walk on the right side of the hallway, then everybody with like traffic would flow properly and everybody could get to class on time and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it's all the things that still fuel my like, why can't people merge on the freeway?
Yeah.
So the thing that I've come to recognize for myself, and it really ties in both, it's the center themes of the spleen and the ajna. And I think what if people could just pause long enough over the course of this week, there's an opportunity to really be able to question whether or not you have potential awareness of what's dictating your life. And then you get to question the stance that you have around that. And that's where you get the opportunity to really be able to face the fear of authority, face the fear of challenge, do it in a way that honors yourself, right? By following strategy and authority. Most of the time, all you need is to be observant in the moment to know whether or not it's healthy for you or not. And then to be able to question whether or not it's healthy for the other people around you, right? Like, it's not just internal atmosphere, it's also external atmosphere. What are the things that make you feel good? Is the environment healthy? Is your job healthy for you? Is the relationship healthy for you? And then to be able to see those patterns play out around you, and then to also be able to like accept it or not. And if you can't accept it, then is there a way to be able to challenge it in accordance with your design? You know, can you speak up? Can you say something? Do you feel an invitation to speak your opinion? It's, yeah. And I think that Mars transiting 28, we're going to see a lot of the shadow of this. And that's the beauty of human design, is that you have the potential to be aware of what's happening around you. To listen to your own body and how that's somatically digesting within you, and then to be able to determine whether or not it's something correct for you to engage in or not.
Yeah.
Boom. Right? I knew you were going to do that, right? Come in with the perfect way to wrap it all up. And I just want to add one little caveat that I really noticed and appreciate in the way you speak is you kept saying things like, and you get to, right? And you get to. Not you have to or you should, and you get to.
You get, there. I mean, that's the gift of human design. It's the gift.
Yeah.
You get to be aware of your authentic truth and your frequency. You get to be aware of the frequency of others, of environment, of the transits.
And then you get to shine your light.
Yes.
And Rebecca said in the comments here, with Mars square Pluto, there is the fight for transformation. And I love that. And I want to thank all of you because this has been an extra special transit talk. It feels really good to see these lovely faces. Carla, we missed you and Jess in Santa Fe this year. I met Carla and Jess both last year in Santa Fe at the High Desert Human Design Conference. And Marianne, I got to meet you in person here. And Karen, we had met a couple, I don't remember where I first met you. Was it in Colorado, I think, but
We met in
this was
Colorado.
this was your first time in Santa Fe, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was lovely. So I just want to say, if anybody has anything, I don't want to cut anybody off. If anybody has a final thought they want to share. No? Okay. Well, then on that note, peace out, everybody.